One of India's favorite street foods, the samosa is not just a random snack. It is an experience.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most delicious deep-fried foods.
Hot, warm, or even cold, Krispy Kreme connoisseurs do agree on one thing.
Yum.
Number 20, falafel.
Cook the falafels in batches, 4 or 5 at a time, turning them frequently so they turn uniformly golden brown.
This is a great street food style alternative for vegetarians and vegans, and a real staple in Middle Eastern cuisine. Depending on where you get it, falafel can consist of fava beans or chickpeas, or a combination of both. It's versatile in the sense that it can serve as a snack, appetizer, side, or even be part of a larger main dish.
Look at that, there's one. Sizzling away. And then another mate.
The food has so much history and popularity that McDonald's in Cairo, Egypt introduced its own iteration, the McFalafel. It's a tortilla wrap filled with tomatoes, lettuce, onions, pickles, tahini sauce, and ding ding, you guessed it, falafel. With all due respect to Mickey D's though, there's better places to get some tasty, authentic falafel. Number 19, fried pickles.
And we have a couple different varieties. We have the regular fried pickle, a Cajun fried pickle for spicy, and a gourmet with cream cheese in the middle.
Are they controversial? Perhaps, but fried pickles hold a special place in many people's hearts and their stomachs. These battered dill pickles are sliced and deep fried. They started to gain popularity in the United States, particularly in the South during the 1960s and 1970s. Nowadays, you may see them at a carnival, fair, or even a chain restaurant like Zaxby's or Buffalo Wild Wings. Fried pickles pack a juicy, tangy flavor with a satisfying crunch. And if you want to bring an extra dimension, ranch dressing or another dipping sauce can deliver that. Number 18, funnel cake.
This is our claim to fame. This is called the Strawberry Works.
After hopping off the Ferris wheel, carousel, or one of those dizzying amusement rides, you might hear a voice in your head. That voice is telling you to go satisfy your funnel cake craving. This is an absolute carnival classic and one of the oldest fried foods in the United States.
I always wondered how you got it, that texture and that, so you swirl it around to make it that way.
Yes, and you put it into the hot oil. It's about 400 degrees.
This warm, golden brown, crispy delight is made by pouring batter into hot cooking oil through a funnel. Funnel cakes are often dusted with powdered sugar for a simple yet amazing combination of crispy texture and sweet flavor. They can be great for sharing, thanks to their shape and texture, which make them easy to tear into pieces, although they're so good that you might not want to share.
Okay, so we're getting ready to take it out. And of course, you have to drain all the oil off of it so it gets all nice and fluffy, but it's not super oily.
Number 17, croquettes.
I think they're golden enough. What do you think?
Absolutely.
They get their name from the French word croquer, which means to crunch. While they originated in France, croquettes have made their way to various other European countries, as well as other continents around the world. Croquettes are small breaded rolls that can be filled with different ingredients.
And there's the finished product.
There's the finished product. Put a little sauce with it, nice and colorful.
Idea.
If you're in Spain, for example, one common type of croquette is filled with jamón, which makes for a delicious meat-style tapa. Around the world, it's common for croquettes to include fish such as cod, as well as cheese or vegetables. The contrast between the outer and inner parts of the croquette complement each other like popcorn and a movie.
It's a quick grab and go. It has all the nutrients. It's fluffy on the inside, crispy on the outside, so texture is delicious.
Number 16, Mars bar.
Is that the best one you've ever tasted?
It's the only one I've ever tasted.
Take a classic Mars chocolate bar, cover it in batter, and deep fry it in oil, and you got something that might even catch the eye of Willy Wonka. This treat originated in Scotland, most likely during the 1990s. Deep-fried Mars bars became a menu item at various fish and chip shops and gained popularity as a quirky, you gotta try this topic among teenagers and tourists.
That is really nice. Yeah? Yeah.
The deep-fried Mars bar is a fun novelty treat that draws in tourists, but is not necessarily a staple regular dessert. Deep-fried Snickers also joined the deep-fried candy bar scene and made their way to American state fairs in the 2000s.
What do you think? Nuggets, chocolate, and caramel inside batter. What do you think?
I like them. They're sweet, but I can eat one, can't eat loads. So that's what we like to serve.
Number 15, churros. Whether dipped in chocolate or rolled in cinnamon sugar, a churro can satisfy your sweet tooth. Much of the churro's history lies in Portugal and Spain, but they also appear in variations in Latin American cuisine and Philippine cuisine. Churros can be enjoyed as a snack, dessert, or even for breakfast. You can find them in many places, including cafes and carnivals.
Moment of truth.
Moment of truth. Oh, into the chocolate sauce? Oh, yeah.
One of the most historical and famous spots for churros is Chocolateria San Ginés in Madrid, where you can dunk a fresh, crisp churro in thick hot chocolate for a mouth-watering combo.
All that makes us the kings of street food in Spain. What do you think? Have you tried us yet?
Number 14, wontons.
There you go, my first wonton. You want to do this carefully?
Often served steamed or boiled, wontons are an iconic food in Chinese culinary history in countries outside of China, such as the United States. Another common way to prepare these delicacies is by deep frying them. If you're in the mood for a little crisp factor to accompany the bursting flavor on the inside, fried wontons won't let you down. Pork is a common filling inside the crispy outer layer, but you can find other options too. Dip these things in duck sauce, plum sauce, sweet and sour sauce, or hot mustard depending on your taste preferences, and you've got yourself an excellent appetizer.
Sweet chili sauce on the side, really as simple as that.
Number 13, Oreos.
When you thought an Oreo couldn't get any better, this just tops it.
At the Los Angeles County Fair during the early 2000s, a fried food connoisseur introduced the public to deep-fried Oreos. It's the classic cream-filled sandwich cookie dipped in pancake batter and deep-fried. How could it not be good? These sweet treats became a mainstay, spreading to state fairs and carnivals around the United States.
Just goes into what we call a little boat, and we serve it with powdered sugar.
They made their way overseas as well. Oreos were originally introduced by Nabisco in 1912, and have since satisfied countless people's cookie cravings. But the game-changing idea of deep frying them added a whole new layer to the Oreo's iconic status.
Look at the center. Look at the crisp. I think people at the fair, Tina, they just want something a little different, right?
Number 12, mozzarella sticks.
Typically, mozzarella cheese sticks are on the appetizer menu and have been for years. It's still one of the #1 appetizers you can order in a restaurant.
Cheese, crispy breading, and marinara sauce if you'd like. What's not to love? Frying cheeses dates back to 14th century medieval France. However, the much different modern-day mozzarella sticks surfaced in the United States during the 1970s. The handheld food has become a staple appetizer in the US.
The fact that you can contain all the cheese inside of this without having the blowouts is outstanding, because that's one of the biggest challenges.
Multiple survey results have shown mozzarella sticks near the top of the list for best and most ordered appetizers in the country. It's a great choice to enjoy while watching a game at a sports bar or taking a snack break at the bowling alley. Number 11, empanada. Believed to have originated as far back as the 7th century, empanadas have roots in the Galicia region of Spain. They later became a major part of other cuisines, including multiple Latin American countries where they became a significant contributor to street food culture. Empanadas are a simple yet delicious half-moon-shaped food. The dough on the outside wraps around meat, cheese, tomato, corn, or other ingredients. The empanada is versatile, not only in terms of the ingredients that can be put inside, but also its suitability as an appetizer or main course.
Like, I don't wish it, but like you want to be like hungover when you eat these.
Yeah, I could eat a ton of these.
Number 10, egg roll.
Egg rolls are an American invention. They have a thicker, chewier dough, but in so doing, it's a different type of textural triumph.
When it comes to takeout Chinese food, this is hands down one of the most popular dishes. But according to food author Andrew Ko, the humble egg roll was actually invented in New York City in the 1930s. Many cultures have dishes similar to this Chinese takeout favorite, but you know a classic egg roll when you see and taste one.
Look at these, Pop. 12 beautiful, gorgeous, crackly, golden, blistered, crispity, crunchy egg rolls. Look at that.
Similar to spring rolls, which are made with rice paper, egg rolls are different in that they are made with a flour-based dough, which gives their wrapping a distinctly crispy, yet chewy texture, and have the added meaty goodness of chicken, pork, or shrimp shoved inside. Plus, we think it counts as a serving of veggies, since there's some carrots and cabbage stuffed in there too.
When you eat it, you just wrap this up and you dip this in, and it's marvelous. It's very easy to do.
Number 9, corn dog. Is there any fried food more quintessentially American than these puppies? A hot dog on a stick, dipped in corn batter, and deep fried to golden perfection. It's a tasty carnival and boardwalk treat reminiscent of a simpler time.
Hey, Docky, couple more nitrate sickles, please.
2 corn dogs coming up.
The origin of the corn dog is highly contested, with multiple parties taking responsibility, but we do know that it appeared in its earliest form, minus the stick, in 1927. It's since been reinterpreted every which way, like trading the corn batter for a battered French fry crust, giving you a hot dog and fries wrapped in one. But the classic interpretation, as celebrated on National Corn Dog Day, simply can't be beat.
They're delicious. She even tried to duplicate it at home.
Oh, yeah. And how'd that go?
Good.
Number 8. Samosa.
Easy to eat and economical. The popularity of samosas hardly comes as a surprise.
Although common in many regions of the world, including Southeast Asia, North Africa, East Africa, the Middle East, and more, samosas are most strongly associated with Indian cuisine, mentioned in history books as early as the 10th century. The most popular main dishes in Indian cuisine are curry dishes, meat and/or vegetables in a thick, flavorful sauce, served with rice or naan bread. They're delicious, but not exactly an ideal food on the go. Samosas, on the other hand, are the perfect quick and portable tasty treat. A wheat or maida flour shell is stuffed full of potato, peas, spices, green chilies, and sometimes meat, then deep fried. Paired with either mint sauce or tamarind chutney, samosas are generally affordable and sure to satisfy.
From flavors ranging from mango to chow mein, the love for the samosa keeps inspiring people to reinvent the humble snack.
Number 7. Fried calamari.
Imagine going to somebody's house. Not only are they having a pizza party, but there's crispy, beautiful calamari.
Squid is an extremely popular food in the Mediterranean, Asia, and certain areas of Europe, South Africa, and the Middle East, where it's served in countless different preparations. In North America, however, fried calamari reigns supreme. A popular dish, especially in seafood restaurants and bars, fried calamari is a great alternative to your more run-of-the-mill appetizers like mozzarella sticks or wings.
Look at the color, phenomenal. Absolutely beautiful. Perfectly cooked bodies, most importantly. That's where your money is.
Calamari can get tough and chewy if overcooked, so keep it under 2 minutes in the fryer and serve with lemon for a simple yet scrumptious treat. Got a friend who's grossed out by squid? Slip a couple fried calamari in amongst their onion rings and change their minds. Just make sure they don't have a seafood allergy first.
Now, I'm not going to season these. We've already seasoned that milk earlier, so there was no reason to season it again.
Number 6. Onion rings.
Why is it that greasy food and watching sports go so well together? Hi, I'm Rebecca Brayton and welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be showing you how to make your very own game day onion rings.
Speaking of those delicious crispy rings of vegetable goodness, you didn't think we'd leave them out, did you? Is there any better way to eat an onion than in their deep-fried, battered ring form? You can go for a simple milk and flour batter, but given that they're a classic bar food, you really need to try beer battering them to experience onion rings at their best.
The oil should be hot, but not smoking. That way, it's hot enough to cook them, but not so hot that they burn.
A&W is credited with helping to popularize them across the states as a fast food side, but recipes can be found dating back as far as the early 1800s. If an onion ring was good enough to stand in as a wedding ring for Marge Simpson, then it's good enough for us. Just give us a whole plate.
From my sort of semi-professional adventures, I think that a batter works better than a crumb.
A batter?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like a bit lighter.
Number 5. Donuts.
More.
Donuts come in all shapes and sizes, with many related dishes around the world including funnel cakes, beignets, churros, and locomades. But when you hear the word donut, it's hard not to imagine the classic powdered version, or frosted with sprinkles.
A policeman's dream. Yep. Lucy sets it up for us every night.
There are a number of contested stories explaining how donuts developed their famous shape. Some believe the tale of a sea captain who, struggling to hold his oil cake and the wheel of his ship, poked or shot a hole through the cake's center, creating a donut hole.
Look at it, come on.
If ever there was a reason to not pay attention to directions on the back of like a food box or in a pop tube, this is it.
Others say some savvy cooks simply realized they'd bake more evenly in a ring shape. Regardless, they've only grown in popularity since, and were a staple for young men serving in World War I.
Okay, so just what's so delicious about a glazed Krispy Kreme hot off the line?
Sweet hot air, and I think that's as close of a definition as I can get to.
Number 4. Tempura. Tempura isn't your typical frying batter. It's usually made with cold water, wheat flour, egg, and optional spices. Tempura is traditionally cooked in sesame seed oil, which helps give it a distinct flavor and preserves its uniquely light, crispy texture. The batter is also kept very cold and mixed minimally to avoid triggering the gluten, which would result in a more doughy finished product. Japanese society has been frying food since ancient times, but the current base recipe, still used today, can be traced back to 1671. Tempura is usually applied to vegetables and seafood, with shrimp serving as a particularly lovely pairing. It's typically served on a bed of rice or with soba noodles, or accompanied by a dipping sauce.
This is all the hard work we put in today. This tempura here, tempura moriawase. We got our corn fritters, shiitake, our eggplants, shiso leaves, our squash blossoms, our onions.
Number 3, French fries. Whether you say potato or potato, let's call the whole thing delicious and deep fry these suckers.
Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
From fries to chips or pomme de terre frites, you know you're ordering something delicious. This side dish has been reinterpreted too many ways to count, but you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who doesn't enjoy a basic side of perfectly cooked fries seasoned with some combination of salt, ketchup, vinegar, or mayo.
There are several sacred things in this world that you don't ever mess with. One of them happens to be another man's fries.
Funnily enough, French fries may not have even originated in France, though the French do still argue it. Instead, some trace their origin to Belgium, dating back to the 1600s. American soldiers first encountered the delicious side dish there in World War I, where the local language is French, and thus referred to them, wrongly, as French fries.
Allez, le bon petit cornet de frites avec la mayonnaise, c'est toujours très amusant. Ça fait partie de notre patrimoine, entre guillemets.
Number 2, fried fish.
I get my lemon here and I just squeeze it over the fish onto the salt.
Some iteration of this dish exists in most cultures around the world. That being said, most fried fish dishes can be traced back to pescado frito, a dish that originated in the Andalusia region of Spain. Historians believe that Spanish Jews immigrating to England introduced the dish upon their arrival in the 17th century, and that it then evolved into the widely popular English dish, fish and chips.
So it was a perfect way to consume fish without having to cook it at home. But after that, it's just become tradition, so we're just part of the culture, part of the heritage of the nation.
Typically, cheaper fish is used, since the battering and frying technique helps to mask bland flavors through seasoning and pleasant textures. But cheap fish or not, when properly spiced up, fried fish is simply divine.
It's all down to experience. You know, it takes about 3 or 4 minutes. And most importantly, got to drain the fish.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, fried chicken.
People would say to me, man, that chicken tastes just like my grandmother's. That was the concept.
With a wide variety of possible preparation techniques, Southern style is still the most iconic version. The idea was first brought to the table by Scots immigrating to the US, where African slaves got a taste and made it even better. A staple of soul food, when properly prepared, fried chicken is a textural combination that is hard to beat. The flour dredge provides a satisfying, crunchy exterior when fried, giving way to mouth-wateringly juicy meat on the interior. There are some fast food juggernauts, from KFC to Popeyes and Chick-fil-A, that claim to have perfected the recipe. But at heart, fried chicken is still a home-cooked meal above all else. And if you're in a breakfasty mood, add some waffles, or go to LA Roscoe's.
You know, I've always wanted to do this. Love, baby, love!
Let us know in the comments what food you think would be really good deep fried.
Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.